Hi and welcome back. I was actually looking at this model, and the amount of detail that we have on this window is just bugging me a lot. 1,000 polygons, and that's not even tries. You should pretty much times that by 2 to figure out the tries, but it's just too much. I have 720 polygons just for that frame, which is way too much and unnecessary, really. The most ideal way of doing this would be to just have a simple plane with 4 edges in it, just 1 polygon, and then just bring this detailing through a texture and then put an opacity map on it. But because I said I want to model it in, I'm going to remodel this actually. And this I'm going to try to reduce the number of detail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a notepad here. I'm going to say we have polygons equals 720. Hold control, click on vert, and vertices equals 1440. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to remodel this, just the frame inside, and see if I can reduce the size. I'm gonna create a plane here, and let me explain to you why that we have so much detail in there. What we did for the window was we did something similar to this. We converted this to editable poly, so I'm just recreating the older one. We selected the vertices like this and we chamfered them like so, and put a lattice on top like so. This is what we had, but the problem is each of these are separate element, and each of them have a lot of vertices, 3 vertices at the end, where this piece could have been just one continuous piece. So this is the problem that we had, or this is how we made it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to delete that actually, and I'm going to create a new plane, and this plane is just going to have the detail for the top image. So I'm going to go convert this to editable poly, and we don't need any of these vertices up to here. So I'm going to, on top of this, I am actually just going to select each of these and convert them, chamfer them actually, and put a lattice on top, convert it to a poly. Now I don't need these additional edges here because I'm going to do them in a bit separately, so don't need the ones on top. Oops, I think I actually accidentally deleted this line. Yep, I need that. Let me zoom into this so you can see what I'm doing better. These ones I probably don't need. Okay, that's just the design that I need. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and create an additional plane. Now this plane is just going to have the vertical line, so I'm going to go ahead to my edge mode, and I'm going to remove all the other edges except the top ones. Okay, and I could put a lattice on top of this with the same settings. Even if I wanted to be quicker, what I could do is on this, actually no, I did remove the lattice here. What I could do here, I could copy this lattice if I want to use it again. Just copy it again with these new settings, and I'm going to create a new plane with only the horizontal lines showing. So I'm going to ring loop, control backspace. Actually no, control Z that, because I need to keep these ones. Okay, and then just right click and paste that in there. So this is what we have in this case. Now I believe if I was to convert this to editable poly, this is also made out of different segments, whereas this line here is just one continuous piece, and that's what I want. But for this one, these are all individual pieces. I'm going to select them all and deselect these bars and delete the rest, and do the same here. Select everything and deselect the middle bars and delete those. So what I have now is this, where that all the horizontal lines here have been deleted and all the verticals from the other one. Okay, so what's going to happen here is that I'm going to go and put them into each other. But before I do that, I don't need this middle bar here because that already has that there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that middle bar. As for this one, I need to keep the top half. So I need to separate the top half with the bottom half, and I just need to delete sections of it. What I mean is, if I go and select my edge mode and select all of these edges here and just make one connection and bring them up roughly to here, I think. What I could even do, to be more precise, I could make sure I'm snapping to vert and just bring this up so that it matches those. So now I have this line, red line cutting through here. And then I could go ahead and select this one and 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 delete those. And what I could do now, let's see if there's any way that I could reduce the numbers on this one. Yeah, well, I have these additional lines here that I could use. I think I would probably weld these vertices here together. Could I? Yep, so that changed that from 6 to 3. So I'm going to select them all and weld them. And I most certainly do not need these lines here. And loop those and control backspace to remove them. Let's have a look at these elements. So these have just 3 sides each, which is good. Okay. So now I could get this and bring it, actually before I do that, making sure that I'm snapping to grid point. I could bring that here. I could select this and bring it here and select one and attach the other 2 pieces together. So these are all one continuous piece. So if I was to, okay, again, there's something wrong here because I don't need all of these vertices to be there. So let's see, let's undo before we, so go back to the point before we attach them here. So no vertices on this one. Let's select this one. Oh, I see, those vertices are these vertices, so we actually do need them. My bad. Yep, sorry. So I could probably just place that there, select them both, bring them here. And I could attach these ones together. Now if I was to look how much detail I have and compare with the previous one, polygons, I have 199. So here I'm going to write old, and here I'm going to type in new. Polygons 189 and vertices 360. That means if you take, if I bring a calculator up and say 1440 divided by 360, that gives me 4. That means it's 4 times less detailed, really. And polygon wise, 720 divided by 189 equals, again, almost 4. So we have lost a great amount of detail. So the difference between 1440 and 360 is about 1080, I think, something like that. So we've lost a lot of detail there, which is good. And I'm going to replace that with this. So I'm gonna go back to this, go to my element mode, select them all and deselect this because I don't want to delete those. So I can delete these ones. I could select that and snap it here to grid. Check this on top viewport. That needs to come over here, and actually it might need to be in the middle of that. Is that the case with this? I think it might be. Okay. So that's that. I'm gonna select the main one first. I'm gonna go to attach these ones. That does mean that we need to unwrap that again, so I'm gonna, but only the new shape. So I'm gonna open up UV editor, unwrap, and open up my UV editor, and then put that color in there so I can see what I'm doing. And then I could select everything, Control A, but deselect what's in this box over here. And that should give me, if I look closely here, I cannot see what polygons I'm selecting. Okay, that's better. So now I'm only selecting what's there. Great. So I could do a planar mapping on them on the x-axis, y-axis, on the y-axis, and of course snap them. Oh, I need to turn that off. My bad. Snap them 50% there, and then another 50%, and then another 50%. And then maybe just turn snap off, scale them in a little bit so we avoid color bleeding. Convert that to a poly, and that is our new window with about 4 times less the detail, and still looks the same. Okay, that's good. So we have that block. Let's go back to this image here. Let's see what other blocks we need. We also need, I talked about having a 128 by a 64 unit there. That's of course very easy. Oh, we actually have created that. Or have we not? I think we have. Yeah, we have. Okay, that's good. So that's been created. There is this here which kind of bulges out. Which we could easily create. However, I'm just thinking if I could create that shape from one of these here, which I could, but it will stretch the texture and I'll have to fix the texturing. I'll see if I can get to that as well. And then there's a door that we have to do, and then we could do other props like this drainage here if we want to. Okay, that's great. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and decide about if we were to build this, would we want to take that and just shift drag it, put it up, actually cancel. I will need to change my grid from 64 to 32 in order to be able to do this. So shift and drag that up to here. I'm gonna do an instance. Okay. And probably an instance of the window as well. But what that would do is that it would give us a very thin space between the two windows. But that is not the case over here. There's a bit of a distance here. What we could, however, do is just rather than having the windows so close to each other, we could actually go ahead and duplicate the whole thing up. So if I was to put that there, you'll probably just put that there, and that would give us a second floor. However, the difference would be or the only downside, should I say, would be that this side does not sit well on top of here. So if we wanted to reuse this, it means that we would have to kind of ignore this design and kind of take this bit back inside. So let's change these models a little bit so that the textures go back inside, which means we'll probably end up with this artifact again. So what I'm going to have to do is connect all of these lines again, but take them to take them to -60, and then I would need to get them to come back. Let's have a look. We have this design here. Let me isolate this. Go to top viewport, and this edge, these 4 edges, should I say, need to snap back to where they are. Snap back to the top ones, which means, just talking about this left one here, I could go and say snap to vert and not grid, and snap that to that there. And let's see how much has that distorted the image. Not much actually, which is good. And these two have to snap back over here, and this vert would have to be target welded from here to here. Which would give it this sort of effect, which I exit isolation would mean our house would look like so. Maybe I would need to put a smooth group there, and have them edgy there, which is fine, I suppose, and then come around to the poly. Or actually, I could select the top polygons and give them a same smoothing group. Did I select the whole thing? I will make the size a bit darker. What I could also try doing is select the middle vert, say observe UVs, and just chamfer that edge a little bit, not too much. That will do. But before I do that, I need to know the value that I used here so that I can use the same value on the other ones as well. So chamfer by 1 unit, actually, that's fine. So I just need to repeat the same thing over here as well. Actually, do I even want the chamfer there? So it's that versus that. So that versus that. I think this looks better, so I'll keep that. Okay, so if I go here, now if I do the same thing to the next one, I could go to front, select the middle edges, connect them, but I believe this was -60, and I could probably just isolate this model to see better, and just bring those vertices, or those edges should I say, slightly back to line up with the rest. And then actually I would need to select these polygons here. Actually I would need to put a smoothing group on it first. And just chamfer these by one. Okay, great. Exit isolation. Now this, of course, is a copy of that, so I could just ignore that one. And would I also want to put a chamfer at the bottom as well? Since I put a chamfer at the top. Might as well. Okay, that's very good. So now if I was to copy everything and shift drag them, actually cancel, I need to be snapping to grid points, and shift drag these up to there. At least now that will make a bit of sense. Just thinking if I should be worried about the fact that these polygons here are a little bit too dark. Not sure if it has anything to do with the smoothing group of them. Actually, let's make this one unique. Put a smooth. Or smooth. I think we're just lighting. Let's put a standard skylight somewhere. Press F10 to get the render setup come up. And go to render common. Make sure this is set to scan line and set this to light tracer. Just click save. Just quickly render this to see how it looks. Yeah, it looks fine. I'm not sure if I need to worry about the lack of light there. Press F9 again. Yeah, I think that's fine. But this actually reminds me, I think I may have made a mistake, because if, or maybe not, So like if these sides were to be actually this is already turned anybody forced to select these two, and no, it's fine. It's just I'm just being just not thinking correctly. Yeah, W overlapping, so it should be fine. Get a render of that. Looking really good. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video here, and but before I actually pause it, let's get a render from the inside of our scene as well. Okay, very good. I'm gonna stop this here, and I will come back and we will continue the video tutorial in the next video. Thank you.